US President Donald Trump says that he will allow economic pressure to continue piling on Iran. It comes as the Strait of Hormuz remains largely closed and the US-Iran war seemingly at a stalemate. Speaking to US news site Axios, he said, "We are low-keying it. We're only semi-negotiating with them. We're just watching Iran with its huge inflation and the fact they have no money." Well, the US is maintaining its blockade on Iranian ports. It's using US Navy vessels to turn back any ships destined for or traveling from Iran. Donald Trump says the blockade is vital to help weaken Iran's economy. Meanwhile, Iran has laid out its own conditions to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, including the withdrawal of US forces from the region and compensation for damage compensation for damage caused by the war. Let's go live now to Washington, D.C. Al Jazeera's Rosiland Jordan is there. Do the president's remarks, Ros, mean that Washington is giving up on its military options?
Well, no U.S. president will ever say that he's giving up on all of his options, including military options, when dealing with some sort of global crisis. But certainly the language has changed from the Trump administration in the past week. Just this time a week ago, the U.S. President Donald Trump was telling anyone who would listen that he had been prepared to launch a massive military strike on Iranian targets in order to get the government in Tehran to comply with the U.S.'s demands to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to commercial traffic without any strings attached, and to compel the Iranian government to give up any and all ambitions to develop a nuclear weapon arsenal. But the president said that he had been requested by partners in the region to hold back and to give diplomacy a chance. This week, all we are hearing is not just from the U.S. president, but from his vice president, J.D. Vance, on Saturday, that they are prepared to basically wait things out, to allow ongoing sanctions imposed on the Iranian economy, to basically put pressure on the Iranian government to do what the U.S. says is the right thing, given to American demands.
So how much, Ros, were his comments aimed at the domestic audience, considering the looming midterm elections?
Well, I'm not in the room with the president and his political advisors, but the polling done on a nationwide basis over the past 5 months or so have increasingly shown a strong majority of Americans opposed not only to the decision to go to war against Iran, but against the continuation of the war. People are angry not just about the fact that the U.S. is in yet another conflict, but they're also very angry about the economic impact caused by this war, in particular the cost of energy and, by extension, the cost of consumer goods, because you need energy to move goods from production into retail spaces. And so whether or not the president wants to believe these polls, and he has called these polls essentially fake news, he is of the mindset that there are Americans who support this war. Now, whether or not the president is changing his tone, as it appears, in order to try to mitigate some of the potential losses that congressional Republicans might suffer in the midterm elections, is really anyone's guess. But certainly that climate is there. Many Americans do not want to see this war continue, and they say they are suffering financially because of it.
Al Jazeera's Rosiland Jordan reporting live there from Washington. Ros, many thanks.